In this problem, we have to find the value of a1 and a2 and simplify them, and let's see whether a1 is equal to a2 or a1 is not equal to a2 or a1 is 2a2 or a1 is minus a2. Okay, so a1 is sine of cot inverse cos of tan inverse x for x greater than 0. Okay, now what we need to do is, because cos is outside and tan inverse is inside, so we'll try to convert tan inverse into cos inverse of something, okay, using triangle. So once cos inverse is there, cos will cancel cos inverse and we will get whatever theta is inside it, if theta is in the domain of cos inverse x. Okay, so because x is positive, tan inverse x has a domain x belongs to R, so it's not a problem. What we'll do is we'll consider a triangle now. Let's consider tan inverse x as theta. So if this is theta, so this side will be x and this side will be 1 and this side will be under root of 1 plus x square. Okay, now we will have a1 is equal to sine of cot inverse cos of, in place of tan inverse we'll be writing cos inverse, so you will be writing 1 upon, in place of tan inverse you will be writing cos inverse of 1 upon under root of 1 plus x square. Is this clear? Okay, now cos will cancel cos inverse, this cos will cancel cos inverse, so you will be left with a1 is equal to sine times of cot inverse under root of 1 plus x square. Okay, so now we'll consider a triangle in which cot theta is equal to 1 upon under root of 1 plus x square. So we'll consider this as alpha, and so under root of 1 plus x square divided by 1 is here. So this side will be under root of a square plus b square. So it will be x square plus 2. Okay, now because sine is outside, so we will make sine inverse in place of cot inverse. So sine inverse will be under root of 1 plus x square upon under root of 2 plus x square. Okay, so sine will cancel now sine inverse, so we will have value of a1 as under root of x square plus 1 upon x square plus 2. So this is the value of a1. Now let's try to find the value of a2. a2 is cos of tan inverse sine of cot inverse x. So what we'll do is we'll try to convert cot inverse into sine inverse. So what will happen now is, let's consider this as theta. So if you consider this as theta, so this will be 1 and this side will be x, because cot theta will be equal to x. Okay, this is 90 degree. So hypotenuse will be under root of x square plus 1. So you will be writing a2 is equal to cos of tan inverse sine, in place of cot inverse what you will have now is sine inverse. So we will be writing sine inverse of 1 by under root of x square plus 1. Okay, so this sine will cancel this sine inverse. So now you will be left with cos of tan inverse 1 by under root of x square plus 1. Let's consider now this angle as beta. So we will have a triangle in which this angle is beta. So tan beta is 1 upon under root of x square plus 1. So we'll consider this as 1 upon under root of x square plus 1. This side will be using Pythagoras, under root of x square plus 1 plus 1. So it will be under root x square plus 2. Now we have to write, because outside is cos, so we'll be writing cos inverse. So cos inverse under root of x square plus 1 upon under root of x square plus 2. Is this clear? So cos will cancel cos inverse. So a2 will be under root of x square plus 1 upon x square plus 2. So if you see, a2 and a1 both are same, isn't it? Because a1 is also under root of x square plus 1 upon x square plus 2, a2 is also under root of x square plus 1 upon x square plus 2, and hence the answer of this problem is option A. In this problem, we have to find tan inverse under root 1 minus cos x upon 1 plus cos x in its simplest form. Means you have to just simplify this term in the interval x from minus pi to pi open interval. Okay. Now for these kind of problems, you need to know the formulas, trigonometric formulae. Okay, so that will help you. So we can write this term as tan inverse under root 1 minus cos x upon 1 plus cos x. So you might be knowing the interval first. Let's write the interval because it is also very important. So you might be knowing that under root of 1 minus cos x can be written as 2 sin square x by 2, because cos 2 theta is 1 minus 2 sin square theta. Okay, and this term can be written as 2 cos square x by 2. You can directly write it also write this term as tan square x by 2, because 1 minus cos 2 theta upon 1 plus cos 2 theta is tan square theta. Okay, so you can directly write this term also. So you are now left with tan inverse under root of tan square x by 2, because under root of x square open ups in mod x, so we'll write this term as tan inverse of mod of tan of x by 2. Okay, so because now x interval is given, so you have to open up this modulus in the interval. Okay, so if we take say minus pi to x to 0, if we take the interval minus pi to x to 0, so for minus pi to x to 0, x by 2 will be from minus pi by 2 to 0, which is in fourth quadrant. So this tan inverse will open up as minus of tan of x by 2. Is this clear? Okay, for 0 to x to pi, x by 2 will be from 0 to pi by 2, which is in first quadrant. So the modulus will open up as tan inverse of tan x by 2. Okay, is this clear? Because if the inside term of the modulus is negative, mod open up in a negative sign. If inside term of a modulus is positive, then it open up as it is. Okay, now what we will do is, you already know that this negative we can take this negative outside the bracket or the tan inverse also, because tan inverse of minus x, tan inverse of say minus theta is same as minus of tan inverse theta. Okay, so this will become minus of tan inverse of tan of x by 2. Okay, now x is from minus pi to x to 0, so x by 2 will be from minus pi by 2 to 0. Okay, we need to check this thing because we have to open tan inverse tan x by 2. So we already know one more thing, that tan inverse of tan theta will open up in theta if theta belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 open interval. Is this clear? Okay, so for 0 to x to pi, we have x by 2 from 0 to pi by 2, which is already in principal value branch. So we will directly open this term as x by 2, because tan inverse of tan theta open up in theta if theta is in PVB. So our final answer for this term will be minus x by 2 for minus pi to x to 0, x by 2 for 0 to x to pi. Okay, so in fact we can also write this term as mod x by 2 from minus pi to x to pi. Is this clear? Because if x is negative, it is already opening up in minus x by 2, and if x is positive, it is opening up as x by 2. So let's see the option, because intervals are not given, so the answer for this problem will be A and B, but we already know that the answer A part will be for minus pi to x to 0, and the B part will be from 0 to x to pi. 0 you can include in both the intervals. So the answer, because more than one correct answer is given, so A comma B will be the answer of this problem. In this problem, we have to find the value of sine inverse sine 10 plus sine inverse sine 5. Okay, so because 10 is not in PVB, so sine inverse of sine 10 won't be equal to 10. Obviously, sine inverse sine 5 is also greater than pi, so it is not in PVB. Principal value branch of sine inverse is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Okay, so 10 and 5 both are not in principal value branch, so they won't open up in 10 as well as 5. So what we have to do is, we have to now check the graph of sine inverse of sine x, and from there we will see the output. Okay, so you already know how to draw that graph. So from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, because it is its principal value branch, this function open up as x. Okay, pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi, 5 pi by 2. You have to draw till 7 pi by 2, because 10 is ahead of 3 pi, so this will be 3 pi, and then there will be 7 pi by 2 here. Okay, so we already know that at pi by 2 the value will be pi by 2 only. Okay, at minus pi by 2 it will be minus pi by 2. Okay, so this will be like this. At pi you already know for sine inverse sine x, at pi if you put x as pi, sine pi is 0, sine inverse of 0 is 0, 3 pi by 2 it will be minus pi by 2. So we will have this kind of triangle, and it is periodic with period 2 pi, so this will repeat. Similarly in this side. Okay, just try to remember these kind of graphs, because these are quite heavily used in the problems. Okay, now what we have to do is, we have to find the value of sine inverse sine 10 as well as sine inverse sine 5. So 10 will come on this line here. Okay, and 5 will be at this line. because 5 is less than 2 pi but greater than 3 pi by 2. Okay, so let's consider this as AB and this line as BC. So the equation of AB will be, this is a line parallel to y is equal to x, so equation of AB will be y is equal to x, and this line is below. How much below? It is 2 pi below, so it will be x minus 2 pi. Okay, and for BC we have this line is parallel to y is equal to minus x, and this line will be above because this is going above. So from y is equal to minus x, how much above you will go? You will go above 3 pi units because it is intersecting the x-axis at 3 pi. Okay, you can cross check by putting the values, like this line AB is passing through 2 pi comma 0, which is satisfying the first equation, and BC is passing through 3 pi comma 0 and it is satisfying the second equation. So for sine inverse of sine 5 lies on the line AB, so the output will be 5 minus 2 pi. Is this clear? For sine inverse of sine 10 lies on the line BC, so its output is 3 pi minus 10. Now we have to add these two terms. Okay, so once you add these two terms, you will get 3 pi minus 2 pi, which is pi minus 5. So the answer for this problem will be option D. I hope it is clear. In this problem, we have to find the value of cos inverse cos 10 minus tan inverse of tan of minus x. Okay. Now 10 is not in the principal value branch. Similarly, minus 6 is not in the principal value branch. So we will draw the graph and we'll find out the value of both these terms. Okay. So let's first draw the graph of cos inverse cos x. You already know the short trick for that. You have to draw the graph in the principal value branch as x. So the principal value branch is from 0 to pi for cos inverse cos x. So the graph will remain in 0 to pi. Okay, so this line will be 0 to pi, it will be x. Okay, now at 2 pi the value of cos 2 pi is 1, so cos inverse of 1 is 0. So this we will complete like this triangle, and now it is periodic with period 2 pi, so you can directly repeat this term, this graph. Okay, and you will get this kind of graph. So this is the graph of cos inverse cos x. Okay, now we have to find the value of 10. Now 10 will come on this line. You already know because 10 is greater than 3 pi. So the output of this line or cos inverse cos 10 will be equation AB. So the equation of AB will be, this line is parallel to this line y is equal to minus x. Okay, and this line is above because once you extend it, it will be going above the line CD, OC, or you can call it OC. Okay, so by how much distance OC will go up, we have to see, like here it is intersecting at 4 pi, so it will be going up by 4 pi. So the equation of AB will be y is equal to 4 pi minus x or minus x plus 4 pi. So we have added 4 pi to get the equation of AB. Okay, now you can satisfy this point 4 pi comma 0 to cross check. So once you put x as 4 pi, the y value is already 0. Okay, so the output of cos inverse cos 10 will be equal to 4 pi minus 10. Okay, now let's try to find out the output of tan inverse of tan 6. Okay, one thing you already know, that tan inverse of minus theta is minus tan inverse theta. Okay, so this term, this negative you can take common and you can write this term as cos inverse cos 10 plus, because tan of minus theta is minus tan theta, so this negative will go outside and this will become plus tan inverse of tan 6. So we will be trying to find the value of tan inverse tan 6. Now tan inverse tan x has a principal value branch from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So this graph will be like this. It is a periodic with period pi, so you will get like this. This is a line x, this line is going down, so this line will be y is equal to x minus pi, this line will be x minus 2 pi. We already know 6 will come here, so the output will be 6 minus 2 pi. So tan inverse of tan 6 will be equal to 6 minus 2 pi. Now we have to add these two values. So once you add these two values, so the final answer for us will be 2 pi minus 4. Okay, so the answer for this problem will be 2 pi minus 4, which is option B. We have to simplify this term in the interval 0 to x to pi by 2. Okay, so we already know the formula that 1 plus sine x can be written as sine square x by 2 plus cos square x by 2 plus sin x can be written as 2 sin x by 2 cos x by 2. So this term is basically sin x by 2 plus cos x by 2 raised to the power 2. Okay. Similarly, 1 minus sin x can be written as sin x by 2 minus cos x by 2 raised to the power 2. Okay. Now under root of this term will give us modulus, because under root of x square is same as mod x. Okay. So now we are left with the term cot inverse in the bracket mod of sin x by 2 plus cos x by 2 in the numerator plus mod of sin x by 2 minus cos x by 2. Okay. In the denominator it is the same term with the negative sign, sin x by 2 plus cos x by 2 modulus minus mod sin x by 2 minus cos x by 2. Okay. So this is the term. Now we have x from 0 to pi by 2. The interval of x is from 0 to pi by 2. So x by 2 will be from 0 to pi by 4. Now we have to open up the modulus. Okay. Now sin x by 2 is a positive term in 0 to pi by 4. Cos x by 2 is also a positive term. So we will have cot inverse the first term sin x by 2 plus cos x by 2, because it is positive inside, so it will open as it is. Okay. From 0 to pi by 4, if you know, we have sine graph from 0 to pi by 2 like this, and we have graph of cos like this. Okay. So at pi by 4 they intersect. So from 0 to pi by 4, if you see x by 2, it is from 0 to pi by 4. From 0 to pi by 4, cos theta is greater than sin theta. Okay. So if you see this term sin x by 2 minus cos x by 2, it will be negative, because from x by 2, because x by 2 is from 0 to pi by 4, so sin x by 2 is less than cos x by 2. Okay. So sin minus cos will be negative, so this mod will be opening up as cos x by 2 minus sin x by 2. Similarly, in the denominator we will have sin x by 2 plus cos x by 2 minus, in the denominator we will be having this modulus will be opening up as cos x by 2 minus sin x by 2. Okay. Sin x by 2 plus cos x by 2, this term will open up as it is, this term will open up with a negative sign. Okay. Now we will have cot inverse sin x by 2 will cancel out with sin x by 2 in the numerator to give 2 cos x by 2. In the denominator it will give 2 sin x by 2. So this will be cot inverse cot x by 2. Now we have to see whether x by 2 is in the principal value branch of cot inverse. Cot inverse have a principal value branch of 0 to pi, and x by 2 is from 0 to pi by 4, so it is already in the principal value branch, and hence the answer of this problem will be x by 2. So A option is the correct answer for this problem. In this problem we have to simplify this term tan inverse under root of 1 plus x plus under root 1 minus x upon under root of 1 plus x minus under root 1 minus x if x is from 0 to 1. Okay. Now what you need to do is, if you remember trigonometric substitution, we will be substituting x as cos 2 theta. Okay. But if a problem is of inverse trigonometric function, always remember that we will be substituting in inverse only. We won't be substituting in trigonometry. In our back of mind we know that x will be equal to cos 2 theta, but actually we will be substituting theta as cos inverse of x into half. You got it how I wrote this thing? I took cos inverse on that side and we need to substitute theta. So I have taken 2 theta, we have multiplied both sides with the 2. Okay. So we are considering theta as half of cos inverse x. So this is our actual substitution. Remember this thing very carefully, because if you won't do it, you won't be able to find the principal value branch of theta. Okay. So if we substituting theta is equal to half cos inverse x, so x will be equal to cos 2 theta, provided x is from closed interval minus 1 to 1, which is already given because x is from 0 to 1. And obviously we will have a condition on theta also, that theta will be from 0 to pi by 2, because cos inverse x has a principal value branch from 0 to pi. Now if we substitute this thing, our term will become tan inverse under root of 1 plus cos 2 theta plus under root of 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by under root of 1 plus cos 2 theta minus under root of 1 minus cos 2 theta. Okay, remember x is from 0 to 1. We'll simplify later and use this term x from 0 to 1. We will use it later on. Now 1 plus cos 2 theta is under root of 2 cos k theta. So this will become root 2 mod cos theta plus root 2 mod sin theta, because 1 minus cos 2 theta is 2 sin k theta. This term will become root 2 mod cos theta minus root 2 mod sin theta. Is this clear? Okay. Now can we simplify this term as root 2 will cancel out, and this term will become mod cos theta plus mod sin theta divided by mod cos theta minus mod sin theta. Okay, now we need to open these modulus. For that we need the value of theta. So x is from 0 to 1. Cos inverse x is a decreasing graph, so it will change inequality. So cos inverse x will come from 0 to pi by 2. Okay, you have to multiply it with half. So half cos inverse x will lie between 0 to pi by 4. So we got the interval of theta, which is from 0 to pi by 4. So from 0 to pi by 4, cos is also positive and sin is also positive. So this will become cos theta plus sin theta upon cos theta minus sin theta. Okay, so once you divide this term with cos theta, we will get 1 plus tan theta upon 1 minus tan theta. Okay, so this term will become tan inverse of tan of pi by 4 plus theta. Okay, because tan of pi by 4 plus theta has this formula. Now if tan, you already know this thing, that tan inverse of tan x open ups in x if x is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, which is principal value branch of tan inverse x. Okay, so pi by 4 plus theta lies from where to where? Pi by 4 plus theta, because theta is from 0 to pi by 4. So pi by 4 to pi by 2, which is already in the principal value branch, and hence the answer for this problem will be pi by 4 plus theta. Now we have considered theta as half cos inverse x. Okay, so the answer for this problem will be pi by 4 plus half cos inverse x, which is option D. So the answer for this problem is option D. In this problem we have to simplify this term if the x is from pi by 4 to pi by 2 open interval. So you can write sin inverse sin x into 1 by root 2 plus cos x into 1 by root 2. We'll just try to simplify the inside term into a formula of sin only. So sin x cos pi by 4 plus cos x into sin pi by 4. Can we write like this? Okay, now this term will become sin inverse of sin of x plus pi by 4. Okay, now x interval is given as pi by 4 to pi by 2, and x plus pi by 4 will vary from pi by 2 to 3 pi by 4. Now this is not in principal value branch. If x plus pi by 4 will be in the principal value branch, the answer would be x plus pi by 4. But because this is not in principal value branch, we have to open this up using the graph of which function? Sin inverse sin x. Okay, and we already know the graph is like this: sin inverse sin x from pi by 2 to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, it is x. Okay, and from pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, this is minus x plus pi. So this function is pi minus x. Okay, are you clear on this thing? Okay, so now we have to see our interval of x plus pi by 4 is from pi by 2 to 3 pi by 4, which is in this range only, in this part only, pi by 2 to 3 pi by 4. So the output will be pi minus theta. Okay, now the theta is x plus pi by 4 here. Okay, so the output will be pi minus x plus pi by 4. So pi minus pi by 4 is 3 pi by 4 minus x is the answer of this problem. So the answer of this problem is option B. I hope it is clear. If the inside sin inverse of sin theta, if the theta is not in PVB, you have to check using the graph of sin inverse of sin theta. Suppose if tan inverse of tan theta and theta is not in PVB of tan inverse, so then you have to draw the graph of tan inverse of tan x. Okay, so just remember this thing. If the theta is in PVB, then it is very simple. If it is not in PVB, then you will be drawing its graph. So the answer for this problem is option B. if A is greater than B greater than C greater than 0, then we have to simplify the sum of these three terms which are given in cot inverse. Okay, so first thing, we are familiar more with the tan inverse, so we'll try to convert these terms into tan inverse. Okay, so cot inverse x can be written in terms of tan inverse 1 by x if x is positive. Okay, but if x is negative, then you have to add either pi or subtract pi from it, which we will see right now. This I told you before also, that how you need to remember this thing by taking some values. So let's take -1. So cot inverse of -1 will be equal to 3 pi by 4, and tan inverse of 1 by -1 will give us minus pi by 4. Okay, so if you write here tan inverse of 1 by x, both the left hand side and right hand side won't match, so you have to add pi so that both of these things will match. Is this clear? So for x positive, cot inverse of x will be equal to tan inverse 1 by x. For x negative, cot inverse x will be pi plus tan inverse 1 by x. Now if you see the first term, cot inverse of AB plus 1 upon A minus B, it is entirely positive, so we can write this as tan inverse of A minus B upon 1 plus AB. Now if you see the second term, B minus C is also positive, B C plus 1 is also positive, so this can also be written as B minus C upon 1 plus BC. So before conversion, I have to check the inside term, whether x is positive or negative. Okay, now if you see the third term, C minus A is a negative term. Okay, now in this case, for x negative, you have to use the formula C minus A upon CA plus 1. This term C minus A upon CA plus 1, if you see from denominator, is a negative term, so you have to write this term as tan inverse of C minus A upon 1 plus CA plus pi. Is this clear? Because for x negative, cot inverse x can be written as pi plus tan inverse 1 by x. Now this is the formula of tan inverse A minus tan inverse B, plus this is a term tan inverse B minus tan inverse C. This is a term tan inverse C minus tan inverse A plus pi. Okay, now tan inverse A minus tan inverse A will be cancelling out. Similarly, tan inverse B and tan inverse C. So the answer for this problem will be pi, which is option B, and hence the answer for this problem is option B. In this problem, we have to simplify the term sin inverse 3 by 5 minus sin inverse of 8 by 17 in terms of cos inverse. Okay, so we already know this formula, that sin inverse of x minus sin inverse of y, because sin inverse is an increasing function, is same as sin inverse of x under root 1 minus y square minus y under root of 1 minus x square, provided x is greater than y. Okay, so let's see which is greater than 3 by 5 and 8 by 17. So 3 into 17 will give us 51 and 5 into 8 will give us 14. So this term is greater than 3 by 5 is greater than 8 by 17. Okay, so we can directly apply this formula. So we can write sin inverse of 3 by 5 under root of 1 minus 8 square by 17 square. Okay, minus y is 8 by 17 under root of 1 minus 3 square by 5 square. Is this clear till now? This implies, now we can write this term as sin inverse 3 by 5 into under root of 17 square minus 8 square. 17 square minus 8 square will be 289 minus 64, which will be 225. Okay, so it will become 15 by 17 minus 8 by 17 into 25 minus 9 will give us 16, which is 4 by 5. Okay, so finally we will be having term sin inverse of 17 into 5 will give us 85, and in the numerator we will be having 45 minus 32, which is 13. Is this clear? But the options are given in cos inverse, so we have to write this term in terms of cos inverse. Okay, so we'll make a triangle. So we will have this as theta, this will be 13 and this will be 85. Okay, so you might be knowing that if we want to find the Pythagoras triplets, so 13 will give us 13 raised to the power 2, which is 169, divided by 2 will give us 84.5. So we will have 84 as well as 85 combining, making 13, 84, 85 as Pythagoras triplet. Okay, so we will be having cos inverse of 84 by 85 equal to sin inverse of 13 by 85. So the answer for this problem will be cos inverse 84 by 85. Okay, so C is the answer for this problem. In this problem, we have to find the number of solutions of xy which will satisfy two graphs, mod y is equal to cos x and y is equal to sin inverse sin x, where mod x is less than equal to 3 pi. Okay, so mod x is less than equal to 3 pi means minus 3 pi to x to 3 pi. Okay, so I have drawn a number line from minus 3 pi to 3 pi and from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 along the y-axis, because sin inverse sin x has a range from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 closed interval. So let's draw these two graphs and let's see number of point of intersection, because number of point of intersection will give us number of solution. So for sin inverse sin x, we already know that principal value branch is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Okay, so it will be x in that particular region. So this is pi by 2 and this is minus pi by 2. Okay, so we have x, and at pi it is 0 and at 3 pi by 2 it is minus pi by 2. So we have this kind of triangles in the graph of sin inverse sin x. Okay, similarly we can complete the graph like this. Is this clear? So this is a graph of sin inverse sin x. Now we have to draw the graph of mod y is equal to cos x. So you already know that y is equal to cos x is like this. You already know the graph of y is equal to cos x is like this at pi by 2, at pi like this. So mod y, how you draw mod y? For mod y you reject the lower half and take mirror of upper into lower. So the final graph will be somewhat like this, if you know the transformations. Okay, so if I draw it here, it will be this is minus pi by 2 and this is pi by 2. So this is 1. So cos x will be like this. Okay, and you have to remove the lower part and take mirror of upper into lower. Okay, similarly pi, this will be 3 pi by 2, 2 pi and 5 pi by 2. Okay, so cos x will go like this. Next will be at 7 pi by 2, but that is not required because we have to find the solution from minus 3 pi to 3 pi closed interval. Similarly cos x will go like this in the lower part, but we don't need the lower part. You already know this thing because we will be rejecting it. So we will be having this graph here for the cos x. Okay, and the next will be behind the interval minus 3 pi, behind the value of x as minus 3 pi. Okay, so finally we have this graph as mod cos x, mod y is equal to cos x, and the maroon graph is for sin inverse of sin x. So number of point of intersections are 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total values of x comma y ordered pair are 6. So the number of solution for this problem is 6. In this problem we have to simplify the value of x as well as y, and then we have to find the value of x divided by y. So x is given as cosecant of tan inverse, cos of cot inverse, secant of sin inverse a. So we'll be just using triangle method. In the first case we'll be writing sin inverse a in terms of secant inverse a. Okay, so let's consider it as a theta, and sin inverse is a, so it will be a divided by 1, hypotenuse will be 1, and the base will be under root of 1 minus a square. So secant of sin inverse a can be written as secant of secant inverse 1 by under root of 1 minus a square. Okay, so this secant will cancel secant inverse, so we will be having under root of 1 minus 1 by a square. Now you will be left with x is equal to cosecant of, we have solved this term. Okay, tan inverse is there, still cos is there, then cot inverse of under root of 1 minus a square. Okay, now what we will be doing, we will be converting cot inverse into cos inverse. So cos will cancel cos inverse. We have this property that cos of cos inverse of theta is equals to theta, secant of secant inverse theta is equal to theta. If a function is outside and ITF is inside, the function trigonometric function will cancel ITF provided theta is in the domain of ITF. Okay, inverse trigonometric function. Now cot inverse is under root of 1 upon under root of 1 minus a square. So this side will be under root of 1 minus a square. This will be 1 and this side will be equal to under root of 2 minus a square. Okay, so now we can write this term as x is equal to cosecant of tan inverse cos of cot inverse we need to write in terms of cos inverse. So this will be cos inverse of 1 upon under root of 2 minus a square. Okay, now we already know that cos will cancel cos inverse. So now we will be left with cosecant of tan inverse of 1 upon under root of 2 minus a square. So now I will be converting this term into sine inverse. So let's make one more triangle with the tan inverse. So this side will be perpendicular will be 1 and the base will be under root 2 minus a square. So this term will be under root of 3 minus a square. Okay, because hypotenuse is under root of perpendicular square plus base square. Okay, now we will be having x is equal to cosecant of, I will be writing cosecant inverse inside. So cosecant inverse will be under root of 3 minus a square. So once you simplify you will get x as under root of 3 minus a square. Now let's simplify y. Now y is given as secant of cot inverse sine tan inverse cosecant of cos inverse a. A is already given from 0 to 1 close interval, so it is already following the conditions of the domain. So first we will simplify this cosecant of cos inverse a. So let's consider a triangle cos inverse a. So this side will be a, this side will be 1 and this side will be under root of 1 minus a square. So I will write this term as secant of cot inverse sine of tan inverse cosecant of, in place of cos inverse a we will be writing cosecant inverse of. Okay, so sine is this upon this side, so cosecant will be 1 upon under root of 1 minus a square. Okay, so this cosecant will cancel cosecant inverse. Now we are left with secant of cot inverse sine of tan inverse, we have 1 upon under root of 1 minus a square. Okay, now what we'll be doing, we'll be converting tan inverse into sine inverse. So let's create one more triangle with the tan theta as 1 upon under root of 1 minus a square. Is this clear? Okay, so we get hypotenuse as under root of this square plus this square, which is 2 minus a square. So we'll now be having y is equal to secant of cot inverse sine of, in place of tan inverse you have to write sine inverse. So you'll be writing sine inverse of 1 by under root of 2 minus a square. So this sine will cancel now this sine inverse. So we'll be left with secant of cot inverse 1 by under root of 2 minus a square. So again we'll convert this into a triangle. Okay, so cot inverse is 2 minus a square divided by 1 will give us tan inverse. So cot inverse of 1 upon under root of 2 minus a square. Okay, so this side will be under root of this square plus this square, perpendicular square plus base square, which will give us 3 minus a square. So we'll be having y is equal to secant of, in place of cot inverse we have to write secant inverse, so which is under root 3 minus a square. This will cancel each other, so y will be under root of 3 minus a square. So what we got is, we got x as under root of 3 minus a square, y also as under root of 3 minus a square. So x divided by y will be equal to 1. So the answer for this problem will be 1. Okay, I hope it is clear. In this problem we have to find the value of 4 tan inverse 1 by 5 minus tan inverse 1 by 70 plus tan inverse 1 by 99. So I can write this term as 4 tan inverse 1 by 5, okay, minus of tan inverse of 1 by 70 minus tan inverse of 1 by 99. Okay, so what we'll do is, we'll consider this term as a and we'll consider this term as b, and we will finally calculate a and b in terms of tan inverse, and we will find then a minus b. Okay, now we should know this formula that 2 tan inverse x is tan inverse x plus tan inverse x. So we know the formula of tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y. provided x is positive, y is positive and xy is less than 1. So this formula will be tan inverse of 2x upon 1 minus x square, provided x is positive and x square is less than 1. So we can write this term as, for a term as 2 times of 2 tan inverse 1 by 5. As 1 by 5 is positive and product of 1 by 5 with 1 by 5 is less than 1. So you can write this term as tan inverse of 2 into 1 by 5 minus 1 by 1 minus 1 by 25. Okay. So now we got this term. So this term will be equal to 2 times of tan inverse of, once you take LCM you will get 2 into 5 divided by 24. Okay. So we have this value as 2 tan inverse of 5 divided by 12. Is this clear? Now we, once again, because 5 by 12 is less than 1 and positive, if you multiply 5 by 12 with 5 by 12 you will be getting 25 by 144, which is again less than 1. So we can again apply that formula, 2 into 5 by 12 upon 1 minus 25 divided by 144. So once you simplify this term you will be getting tan inverse of 2 into 5 into 12 divided by 144 minus 25. On LCM this will become, on LCM you will get 144 minus 25. Once you cancel out these two terms, no, there won't be any cancelling. You have to just multiply. 2 into 5 is 10, into 12 will be 120, 144 minus 25 will be 119. Okay, so you got the term A as tan inverse 120 divided by 119. Is this clear? We already got the value of A. Now let's simplify the B term. Our B term is tan inverse of 1 by 70 minus tan inverse of 1 by 99. We already know that 1 by 70 is greater than 1 by 99. Okay, so tan inverse of 1 by 70 will be greater than tan inverse of 1 by 99. So it will be a positive term because tan inverse x is an increasing function. So we can write this term as tan inverse of 1 by 70 minus 1 by 99 upon 1 plus 1 by 70 into 1 by 99. Okay, so if I simplify this term I will get tan inverse of, on taking LCM, 99 minus 70 divided by 99 into 70 plus 1. Okay, so this will give me the value of tan inverse of 29 divided by 99 into 7 will give us 9 7 is 63, 69, 6930. So 6931. Okay, now let's see whether 6931 is divisible by 29 or not. Okay, so 29 2s are 58. You are left with 113, 29 3s are, okay, it is 87. So you will get 6 here and 2 61. So yeah, it is divisible. So you will get tan inverse of 1 by 239. Is this clear? Okay. Now we have to find the value of A minus B. So we have A as tan inverse of 120 divided by 119. Okay, minus we have this value as tan inverse of 1 by 239. It is clear that 120 by 119 is greater than this term, so it won't be a problem. You can directly subtract using formula. So we'll be writing 120 by 119 minus 1 by 239 upon 1 plus 120 by 119 into 1 by 239. For these kind of calculations, I have told you earlier also that you need not to simplify, because the LCM in both the cases, in the numerator as well as denominator, is same. So you can write 120 into 239 on LCM minus 119 divided by 119 into 239 plus 120. Okay, so now can I write this term as tan inverse of 120 into 239? Can I write this term as 120 into 239 as 119 plus 1 into 239? Because in the denominator 119 into 239 is present. So this will become 119 into 239 plus 239. Okay, so this term can be written as 119 into 239 plus 239 minus 119 will give us 120, and 119 into 239 plus 120 is also present in the denominator. So this term will become tan inverse of 1, and the answer for this problem will be pi by 4. So let's see which option it is. So option C is the answer for this problem. I hope it is clear. In this problem, we have to find the number of integral roots of the equation sin inverse mod sin x is equal to cos inverse cos x in close 0 to 4 pi. Okay, so we will be drawing the graphs again of these two functions. So cos inverse cos x, we already know that its principal value branch is 0 to pi. Okay, so let's say here we have a line y is equal to pi. So I'll be drawing cos inverse cos x first. So in 0 to pi it will be x. So at 2 pi, the cos inverse cos x will have value as 0. Its period is 2 pi, so it will repeat like this. So this is the graph of cos inverse cos x. Okay, we have to look in the interval 0 to 4 pi close interval, so we need not to draw ahead of it. So this is the graph of cos inverse cos x. Now let's draw the graph of sin inverse mod sin x. Okay, so sin inverse sin x you have already drawn. For sin inverse mod sin x, now the values of mod sin x will be lying between 0 to 1. So sin inverse will have the values from 0 to pi by 2 only. Okay, so let's draw the graph using ordered pair only. At 0, the value of mod sin x is 0, so sin inverse 0 will be 0. At pi by 2, sin pi by 2 is 1, mod of 1 is 1, so sin inverse of 1 is pi by 2 only. At pi it is again 0. Okay, so sin inverse of 0 is 0 only. So we will have this graph is like this from 0 to pi by 2. It is in principal value branch also. From pi by 2 to pi it will be at pi it is 0 only, so this line will come downwards. So at 3 pi by 2, now sin x has value -1, but mod will give us the value as 1. Okay, so sin inverse of 1 is pi by 2. So at 3 pi by 2 output is pi by 2 only. At 2 pi it is again 0. Now this function sin inverse of mod sin x has period pi, so you can even once you draw it till pi you can repeat it because the period is pi. So this graph will be like this. Till 5 pi by 2 it is giving the value pi by 2. At 7 pi by 2 also it will give the value as pi by 2. So this will go like this. Okay, so the maroon graph is sin inverse of mod sin x. Okay, so let's now try to find out the number of integral root in this interval. So in 0 to pi by 2 we have infinite number of solutions. So there is a solution here. Okay, again there is an intersection point here. There are infinite number of solutions, but we have to find the integral solutions. Okay, as such, if we have asked how many number of real solutions are there or number of solutions, so infinite solutions will be there. So we have the solution from the interval 0 to pi by 2 close interval. Okay, union 3 pi by 2 to 2 pi close interval. Then you can directly take it till 5 pi by 2. Okay, so then you have from 7 pi by 2 to 4 pi close interval. Okay, so the value of x will be from 0 to roughly 1.57 close. Union 3 pi by 2 will be roughly 4.7 to 5 pi by 2 will be 1.57 into 5, so it will be 0.8, 7.8. Okay, union 7 pi by 2 will be 7 into 1.57, which will be 10 point something to 12 point something. Okay, so we have to find out the integers. So integers which are satisfying both these functions. Okay, they will be 0 comma 1, because from 0 to 1.57 we have 0 comma 1. Then we will be having 5, 6, 7, because 4.7 to 7.8 roughly range. Then we will be having 11. 10 is not there because 7 pi by 2 is 10 point something. So 11 as well as 12. So total how many integers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the number of solutions, number of integral roots for this equation are 7. So the answer for this problem is 7. In this problem, we have to find the value of cos inverse of cos of 2 tan inverse under root of 5 minus 1 upon under root of 10 plus 2 root 5. If you are familiar with these two terms in the numerator as well as denominator, then it is an easy problem for you. But if you are not familiar, then it is a tough problem for you. Okay. So I will just give you an hint that we already know the value of sine 18 degrees, which is sine of pi by 10. Okay. So sine of pi by 10 is under root of 5 minus 1 by 4, which is in the numerator of this term. Okay, Now let's try to calculate the value of cos 18, which generally we don't remember. This is 1 minus sin square 18. Okay, so this value is under root of 1 minus root 5 minus 1 by 4 raised to the power 2. So this term will become 16 minus 5 plus 1 minus 2 root 5, okay, divided by 16. So this term will become under root of 16 minus 6, which is 10 plus 2 root 5 divided by 16. So this term is basically under root of 10 plus 2 root 5 divided by 4. So if you see, the numerator is root 5 minus 1 and the denominator is 10 under root of 10 plus 2 root 5. So now can I write this term as cos inverse of 2 tan inverse of root 5 minus 1 can be written as root 5 minus 1 divided by 4, okay, divided by under root of 10 plus 2 root 5 divided by 4. So I have divided the numerator as well as denominator with 4, okay. So now we got this term as cos inverse of cos of 2 tan inverse. This term is sin 18 and this denominator is cos 18, so it will become tan 18, which can be written as tan of pi by 10, okay. Now this tan inverse will cancel tan, so we will be left with cos inverse of this tan inverse will cancel tan, because pi by 10 is in the principal value branch, because pi by 10 lies between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, okay. So we already know that tan inverse of tan x open ups in x if and only if x is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, okay. So you are left with now cos inverse cos 2 times of pi by 10. So this will again give us cos inverse of cos pi by 5. Now pi by 5 is in the interval 0 to pi, which is principal value branch of cos inverse. So the answer for this problem will be pi by 5. Let's see which option it is. So it is option C. So the answer for this problem is option C. If greatest integer of sin inverse x plus greatest integer of cos inverse x is 0, where x is a non-negative real number, non-negative means x should be greater than or equal to 0, then we have to find the values of x. So what we have to do is we have to solve this equation that greatest integer of sin inverse x plus greatest integer of cos inverse x is equal to 0. So what we will be doing, we will be drawing the graph of sin inverse x. We will take gent of that. Similarly, we will be drawing cos inverse x. We will take gent of that and then we will add. Okay. Now domain of this equation is closed interval minus 1 to 1. Okay. Now we have to also draw for x greater than or equal to 0. So it's not a problem. We need not to check it for x negative. Okay. So let's draw. We already know the graph of sin inverse x is like this. The domain is from minus 1 to 1. Okay. And the range is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, close interval. Now you have to take the gent for x greater than or equal to 0. So what we do for gent, we just draw horizontal line at integer points. At point of intersection we draw vertical lines. So this is 1 and this value will be sin 1 because the graph is of sin inverse x. Okay. Now you have to take the gent of the function. So once you take the gent, these values are from 0 to 1, so the gent will be 0. I'll be drawing it with the curly line. So this is 0 here, from 0 to sin 1. Okay. And here it will be 1, from sin 1 to 1. Is this clear? So from 0 to sin 1 we have the value as 0, and from sin 1 to 1 we have the value as 1. So this is 1 value and this is value 0. Now let's move on to greatest integer of cos inverse x. So we already know the graph of cos inverse x. The range is from 0 to pi. Okay, so this is say pi by 2. This is 1 and this is minus 1. So the graph is like this. Okay, graph is not exactly to the scale. So what we will do is now we have to take the gent for that also. We have to take it for positive values only, not for the negative values, because only positive terms are required. So if this is 1, this value will be cos 1. Now 1 is in radians actually. So cos 1, if you compare with sin 1, cos 1 will be cos roughly 1 radians is 57 degrees. Okay, so we can roughly consider it as 60 degrees. So obviously sine 1 will be greater than cos 1. Okay, is this clear? Okay, now let's try to take the gent of the function. So from here to here the gent will be 1, from 0 to cos 1, and from cos 1 to 1 it will be 0. So is this clear? Now what we have to do is we have to add these two graphs. So if you see, we have cos 1 less than sin 1. So first we'll take we'll consider the interval as x as 0. Let's take equality at different intervals. Then 0 to cos 1. Then we will be having x as cos 1. And then we will be having cos 1 to sin 1. Okay, then we have the interval x is equal to sin 1 at point. Then we will be having sin 1 to x to 1 and x equal to 1. So these are the intervals actually, or the points. So at 0 the value, if we add these two graphs at 0, the first graph has the value as 0 and the second graph has value as 1. So the sum will be 1. Okay, now from 0 to cos 1, if you see, the first graph has value cos 1 will be somewhere here. First graph has value 0 and the second graph has value 1, so the sum will be 1. At cos 1 the first graph has value 0 and the second graph has 1, so again it will be 1. So from cos 1 to sin 1, first graph is also 0 and the second graph is also 0, so the sum will be 0. Okay, at sin 1 the first graph has value 1 and the second graph has value 0, so the sum will be 1. From sin 1 to 1, this graph is 1 and this graph is 0, so the sum will be 1. At x equal to 1, you will be having sum as 1 plus 0, which will be 1 only. So we have to find out the sum of gent of sin x plus gent of cos x is equal to 0. So the answer for us will be cos 1 to sin 1, which is option D. I hope it is clear. I have drawn the graph of gent of sin inverse x, then I have drawn the graph of gent of cos inverse x, then I have added in the intervals, because we know that cos 1 is less than sin 1, so we have added by making the intervals, and we finally got the solution as cos 1 to sin 1 open interval. I hope it is clear. In this problem, we have to find the value of tan inverse half tan 2a plus tan inverse cot a plus tan inverse cot cube a for 0 to a to pi by 4. Okay, so what we can do is, because these two terms cot a and cot cube a are greater than 1. How? Because a is from 0 to pi by 4 and cot a is a decreasing graph. So cot of 0 plus will be plus infinity and cot of pi by 4 is 1. So if you add these two terms, tan inverse cot a plus tan inverse cot cube a, the product is greater than 1. Okay, so you remember that formula, tan inverse x plus tan inverse y. Let's write that down also. Tan inverse x plus tan inverse y, if x is positive, y is positive and xy is greater than 1. So this will give us tan inverse of x plus y upon 1 minus xy, and you have to add pi in that. Okay, so I'll write this term as tan inverse tan of 2a divided by 2 plus, for this term we will add these two terms, cot a plus cot cube a, tan inverse x plus tan inverse y. Okay, so x plus y divided by 1 minus xy, so it will be cot a into cot cube a. Is this clear? Plus you have to add pi also. Don't forget pi, because the product is greater than 1. Okay, now let's simplify this term. So we will have I as tan inverse of tan 2a divided by 2. Let's convert everything into tan, because we are more familiar with tan. So cot a can be written as 1 plus tan a plus 1 by tan cube a. Okay, now this term will become 1 minus 1 by tan 4a plus pi. Okay, let's further simplify it. We will get tan inverse of tan 2a divided by 2. Okay, this term will be tan inverse of, if you take LCM, you will get tan square a plus 1 by tan cube a. Okay, in the denominator you will have tan 4a will be going into the numerator, and tan 4a minus 1, okay, plus pi. So I will be equal to tan inverse of tan 2a divided by 2 plus tan inverse of tan 4a minus 1 has factor tan square a plus 1 and tan square a minus 1. So we will be left with tan a upon tan square a minus 1, okay, plus pi. Now if you multiply this term with 2 and divide with 2, you will now have the formula tan inverse of tan 2a divided by 2 plus tan inverse of 2 tan a upon 1 minus tan square a is tan 2a. So this will be minus of tan 2a divided by 2 plus pi. Now you already know this formula also, that tan inverse of, just write it here, tan inverse of minus x is minus tan inverse x. You already know this formula. So these two terms will cancel out with each other and we will have answer as pi. Okay, so the answer for this problem is pi. So which will be option A, because tan inverse of 1 is pi by 4. You know this thing, that tan inverse of 1 is pi by 4. So pi by 4 into 4 will be pi. So the answer for this problem is pi, which is written in the form of 4 tan inverse 1. Okay. In this problem, it is given that sin inverse 2x under root 1 minus x square is equal to 2 sin inverse x. This is true for which values of x? So we have to find the values of x for which this statement is true. Now this statement is not true for all x belonging to closed interval minus 1 to 1. Okay, right now, because there might be some constraint on PVB. Okay, so let's try to solve it. What we'll do is we'll consider right hand side 2 sin inverse x is given on right hand side. So let's consider sin inverse x as theta. Okay, so our right hand side will become 2 theta. Is this clear? We have considered sin inverse x as theta, so right hand side will become 2 theta. Now our left hand side will be sin inverse of 2 sin theta under root of 1 minus sin square theta. Okay, because x will be equal to sin theta, provided we have a constraint on theta that theta should lie between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Okay, then only we can take sin on that side, because if you write theta more than pi by 2, sin inverse x cannot be having the value greater than pi by 2, because its range is from closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Okay, now we have the value sin inverse of 2 sin theta. This term will be equal to mod of cos theta. Are you clear on this thing? So we will have sin inverse of, because mod cos theta from minus pi by 2 from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 is always positive. Cos theta is always positive in this interval, so we will be opening up mod as positive only. Now this term will become sin inverse of sin 2 theta. Okay, now you already know that the left hand side, the right hand side is 2 theta. So the left hand side cannot be equal to 2 theta, because 2 theta is from minus pi to pi, which is outside its principal value branch. So left hand side will open up in 2 theta if and only if 2 theta will lie from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 closed interval. So this will give us a restriction on the values of x. Now if 2 theta is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, then this 2 theta is in principal value branch of sin inverse, so it will open up as 2 theta, and in that case only right hand side will be equal to left hand side. Now if 2 theta is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, theta will be from minus pi by 4 to pi by 4. So we have to find the values of x, which is sin inverse x. Now theta is sin inverse x only, so sin inverse x is from minus pi by 4 to pi by 4. So once you take sin on that, sin of sin inverse x, because sin is an increasing function in this interval, so inequality won't change. So we will have the values of x from minus 1 by root 2 to 1 by root 2. Okay, so the answer for this problem will be option B. I hope it is clear. In this problem, f of x is given as cos inverse x plus cos inverse x by 2 plus 1 by 2 under root of 3 minus 3x square. Okay, and we have to find the value of f of 1 by 3. So let's first try to simplify f of x. So I'll write f of x as cos inverse x plus cos inverse of x into 1 by 2 plus root 3 by 2 under root of 1 minus x square. Okay. So let's consider cos inverse x as theta. So we will have a range of theta from 0 to pi. So x will be equal to cos theta. Okay. So we will have f of x as theta plus cos inverse of cos theta into cos pi by 3. Can I write half as cos pi by 3? Cos 60 plus sin pi by 3, because sin 60 is root 3 by 2, into under root of 1 minus cos k theta will be mod sin theta. Okay. Now f of x can be written as theta plus cos inverse of cos theta cos pi by 3 plus, because theta is from 0 to pi and we know that sin theta is positive in 0 to pi. Okay. Its range is from 0 to close interval, close 0 to close 1. Okay. So this will, the mod will open up as sin theta only. So this will give us the value sin of pi by 3 into sin theta only. So we will have f of x as theta plus cos inverse of cos of theta minus pi by 3. Okay. Because cos of a minus b is cos a cos b plus sin a sin b. Okay. Now we have the value of x as 1 by 3, because we have to find the value of f of 1 by 3. So for f of 1 by 3, now we need to see that cos inverse of cos of theta minus pi by 3. Okay, we need to see that this term is in principal value branch or not. Suppose you have written here cos inverse of cos of pi by 3 minus theta. Some student might write this as cos of pi by 3 minus theta also. There is no harm in writing this also, because cos of minus theta is same as cos theta. But the only thing, both will have same answer, because if theta minus pi by 3 will be in principal value branch, we will open this term as theta minus pi by 3. If pi by 3 minus theta will be in principal value branch, we will open it up as pi by 3 minus theta. So for that we have to see now. Now in this problem, x is, we have taken x as 1 by 3. Okay, so we have considered x as cos theta. So x is equal to cos theta is equal to 1 by 3. Now I have to find the value of theta, which is cos inverse 1 by 3. And I need to check this, whether cos inverse 1 by 3 is greater than pi by 3 or not. Okay, it is quite simple. You can check it from graph also, or you can directly check it also. I'll just show you both the methods. You already know that 1 by 2 is greater than 1 by 3. Is this clear? Because 1 by 2 is 0.5, 1 by 3 is 0.33. And cos inverse is a decreasing graph. So cos inverse of half will be less than cos inverse of 1 by 3. And cos inverse of half is 60. So pi by 3 will be less than theta. Okay. And it is not very much greater. It is very like the gap will be very less only. It won't be like it is going greater than pi already. So it will be outside the principal value branch. Okay. So you can check from the graph also that at half, at y is equal to half, you have the value as pi by 3. So 1 by 3 will be somewhere here. So 1 by 3 on the graph of cos will give us theta. So theta is greater than pi by 3. Okay. So theta minus pi by 3 is a small value only, which is lying between first quadrant only. Okay. So theta minus pi by 3 is a positive value and it lies between 0 to pi only. So it is in principal value branch. So we will have the value of f of 1 by 3 as theta plus theta minus pi by 3. So the answer will be 2 theta minus pi by 3. What is our theta? Theta is cos inverse 1 by 3. So 2 cos inverse 1 by 3 minus pi by 3 is the answer of this problem. Okay. So let's see which option it is. So it is option A. So the answer for this problem is option A. In this problem, f of x is given as sin inverse x plus tan inverse x plus secant inverse x. Okay. And you have to find the range of this function. So whenever in case of inverse trigonometric functions range is required or range is asked, just always try to find domain, because it might be possible there is a catch in the domain. Like if you see for sin inverse x, the domain is closed interval minus 1 to 1. Okay. For tan inverse x, domain is x belongs to R. But for secant inverse, the domain is minus infinity minus 1 union 1 to infinity. So if you are adding all these three functions, you have to have a common domain. means you have to take the intersection of all these three domains. Okay, so if you see minus 1 to 1 close interval, what that says is that we have sin inverse x defined from close interval minus 1 to 1, and secant inverse x is defined from minus infinity minus 1 union 1 to infinity. So for sin inverse x, if you see, the function is defined from close interval minus 1 to 1, and for secant inverse, if you see, the function is defined from close minus infinity to minus 1 and from 1 to infinity. So for both these functions to be defined, okay, for both these functions to be defined, we will have a common domain as curly bracket minus 1 comma 1. What that means is, suppose if I take x is equal to 2, secant inverse x will be defined, tan inverse x will be defined, but sin inverse x won't be defined. Okay, suppose if you take x as half, sin inverse x will be defined, tan inverse x will be defined, but secant inverse x is not defined. So this overall function is defined only for two values of x. So the domain of this function is only curly bracket minus 1 comma 1, only two values minus 1 and 1. So now we can easily find the range. We need not to do any other calculation, we just have to put values. So we will just put sin inverse of minus 1 plus tan inverse of minus 1 plus secant inverse of minus 1. Okay, so sin inverse of minus 1 is minus pi by 2, tan inverse of minus 1 is minus pi by 4, secant inverse of minus 1 is pi minus secant inverse of 1. Okay, or you can directly write it pi also. So it will be secant inverse of 1 is 0. So pi minus 3 pi by 4. So the value is pi by 4. So value of f of minus 1, we will just write it here only. F of minus 1 is pi by 4. Now we have to calculate the value of f of 1, which will be sin inverse 1 plus tan inverse 1 plus secant inverse of 1. Okay, so sin inverse 1 is pi by 2, tan inverse 1 is pi by 4, secant inverse 1 is 0. If you take LCM, you will have 3 pi by 4. So in the range we have only two values, which are pi by 4 and 3 pi by 4. So the answer for this problem will be curly bracket y belongs to curly bracket pi by 4 comma 3 pi by 4. Is it clear? Okay, so B is the answer. This match the column has more than one correct type. It means the column 1 might be having more than one options in column 2. So let's try to solve it. X is greater than equal to 0, y is greater than equal to 0, z is greater than equal to 0, and we are given k is equal to tan inverse x plus tan inverse y plus tan inverse z, and depending upon the values of x, y, z, we have to find the value of k. Now what is happening is that we know that if tan inverse, this has a formula that x plus y plus z minus xyz upon 1 minus xy plus yz plus zx. If x positive, y positive and z positive, and xy summation of xy is less than 1. Okay, so if xy plus yz plus zx is less than 1, then this formula is there, and we have to add pi. We have to add pi in this term if summation of xy is greater than 1 and x is positive, y is positive and z is positive. It is not given in the problem that xy plus yz plus zx is less than 1 or greater than 1. So one by one we will solve this problem. So for A option, it is given that xy plus yz plus zx is equal to 1. It means k will give us a value of tan inverse of some finite value divided by 0. Okay, so it will be going towards tan inverse of infinity, or maybe it will be going towards tan inverse of minus infinity. So tan inverse of plus minus infinity might be possible. Okay, so if you see that, we will have the answer as plus pi by 2 and minus pi by 2, and hence we will have A will be attaching with P. Okay, so option A will have the answer as P. Okay, now if we move on to B option, it is given that x plus y plus z is equal to xyz. Okay, so in that case we will have numerator as 0, so it will be tan inverse of 0 divided by something finite. Okay, so we will have answer as 0 only. So for B, we will be having answer as R, and Q might also be possible. Q will be possible when K will be equal to pi plus, when there will be like xy plus yz plus zx is greater than 1. So pi plus tan inverse of 0 divided by some finite value. Okay, so in that case we will have the value as pi. Okay, so for B part we will be having R comma Q. In C part, xk plus ysk plus z square is equal to 1 and x plus y plus z is equal to root 3 is given. So now we can easily find the value of xy plus yz plus zx, okay, using the formula that x plus y plus z raised to the power 2 can be written as x square plus y square plus z square plus 2 times of xy plus yz plus zx, okay. So once you solve this thing, you will have 3. This value is 1 plus 2 times of summation xy, we can write this term. So summation xy will be equal to 3 minus 1, 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. So in the C part we will have same as A part, because summation of xy is given as 1 there. So C part will also have option P. Okay, because denominator will be 0, so it will be giving the value as infinity. Tan inverse of infinity will be either pi by 2, or if it will be tending to minus infinity, it will give minus pi by 2, which was not in the option. Now let's move on to D part. In D part, x equal to y equal to z is given and xy z is greater than equal to 3 root 3. Okay, and we have a value of k as tan inverse x plus tan inverse y plus tan inverse of z. So I can, because x equal to y equal to z is given, so I can write k as 3 tan inverse x. Okay, now also xyz is greater than equal to 3 root 3, so I can write in place of y and z both x. So x cube will be greater than equal to 3 root 3, and we will be having x as greater than root 3. Okay, because x, if you remove, if you take cube root on both the side, x will be greater than equal to under root of 3. Now we need to find tan inverse x. Tan inverse x is an increasing function, so tan inverse x will be greater than tan inverse of root 3. So we will have tan inverse x greater than equal to pi by 3, because tan 60 is root 3. So 3 tan inverse x is 3 tan inverse x will be greater than equal to pi. So we will have k greater than equal to pi. Okay, so for D condition we have k greater than equal to pi. So let's see which option it is satisfying. So for D, k is greater than equal to pi, so q will satisfy, okay, as well as s will satisfy. So for this problem we have A has p option matching, B has q and r matching, C has p matching, and D have q and s matching. I hope you are clear with this.